Hi everyone, hi Liz here. Welcome back to my channel. Here we are again. I haven't recorded a video this year yet, so this is my first 2026 video. At least the one that I'm recording, it's the first. And as you've seen in the title, we just finished. Actually, I finished it yesterday. I read Katabasis by R.F. Kuang, and I don't know. I know. I had no expectation for it to be this good, and it is that good. So, yeah. Excuse my setup. I'm still recording with an iPad because I don't have a camera. So, this is what we can do now. But this is going to be like a podcast. I'm going to talk, ramble. I have literally no structure to my commentary of this book, my review if you want. I literally underlined everything possible in this book. Like, I don't think you can see like that. Like, there's dog ears, there's multiple post-its, there's underlining, there's a lot. And I think we could begin there. I treated this book as a textbook. I studied most of the people who were mentioned in this, so I kind of took it as a way of treating it like a textbook. So I was like underlining and writing my opinions on things or my reflections upon other things that I already knew. So just to get it out of the other way, I am this kind of person. I am the person who this book was written for. Like, I am. And I completely understand if you're not. And I completely understand the criticism people... Not even criticism. It's like more of a personal opinion of not liking that academia thing. I was very sold on that. I mainly wanted to read this because of that. So I went into it thinking academia and came out of it insanely deeply touched because I've lived some of the things that are put here. So we're gonna get there. But first, I gotta tell you which R.F. Kuang books I've read. And one of them is here. It's Yellowface. And the other one is The Poppy War. I have Babbel here. You are sitting on Babbel right now. I have Babbel on my TBR, my physical TBR. I haven't read it, and honestly, I think I'd rather read it now after I read Katabasis because I'm more into it. Like, in a mindset that is more, I know what I'm going to find there kind of way. Even though I've started Babbel a few years back, I read like 10 pages and I didn't read more. And I still remember very vividly what happens in the beginning of Babbel, so that is great. But Katabasis is amazing. I love the writing style. I think it's pretty easy. Into the academia style, it's also very easy, very accessible. I've also seen criticism. Like, I haven't actively searched for like Katabasis reviews or anything, but some criticism that came to my For You page on TikTok, it was from a Portuguese girl, and she was actually also making a video in English where she said that R.F. Kuang or like Katabasis read as Fourth Wing. And I read Fourth Wing, it's there. You see that? I read Fourth Wing and I don't think they're anything alike. Anything. So, I don't know. I think this girl is just trying to criticize book talk for no reason at all. Girl, if you want to read, you read whatever. You want to read Fourth Wing, you read Fourth Wing. You want to read Katabasis, read Katabasis. You read whatever you want to read, okay? Let's not get here and say that reading this book makes you or takes you higher than reading another one, okay? We don't do that here. So let's get into the story of Katabasis. Basically, there's Alice, and she needs to go to hell to find a professor. because he died. I'm not gonna tell you how, though. I'm not gonna tell you how. This is obviously gonna have a few spoilers, so please read the book before you watch this. Or if you don't want to read the book, maybe you could just watch this. You do whatever you want. Baby, it's your life. But she is on her way to hell, and another man from her, can I call it, no, it's college, it is college, university, I have no idea, a man from the same institution she studies on sees her doing that, and he's like, you're going to hell, I'm going with you. And I'm like, ooh, okay. His name is Peter, and at first I thought Peter was just gonna be, I don't know, someone who went on the way, and it wasn't like, it would be very important, but at what cost, you know? And then I went, and it was crazy. Peter is my favorite character. In the beginning, I didn't give anything to Peter, and now I give him everything. Thank you, Peter Murdoch. Thank you. So this is gonna be very sometimes I'm gonna go more in depth with themes that touch me more than the others, but okay. So this is an obvious critique of the institution of Cambridge. Girl, we know R.F. Kuang has studied Oxford, Cambridge, and now Yale. Sister, she has studied on the big three. Let's say that. So, you go, girl. You go. I'm always so surprised about her studies and everything, because how can you do that? You're taking a PhD and then you're writing 3 other books. Girl, I don't have the mental organization to do that. Even though I consider myself someone quite organized, not like that. I don't think I could do it like that. But overall, main critique is the institution, because when they get to hell is a campus. Like an university campus? Yes. That's how hell is in the beginning. So maybe we know. But I have to tell you, they study magic. She studies linguistic magic, if I can call it that. And he studies a more logical side of magic. Both studying magic, okay? And their advisor is a man called Jacob Grimes, and he's dead. He has a past with war. He went to the military, then he went to war after a few years. So he has this past of a little traumatized head. So yeah. Also, this book is all about women in academia. And I think I don't have a precise year that this takes place. I would say 80s, maybe. And there was a problem. I didn't see it as a problem. But as a woman, that is a problem, okay? I didn't see it as a problem in the story, in the lines of themes, no. But as a woman living in 2026, crazy. This is a problem. And Alice, as a certain, how do I say this? An internalized misogyny. There is a point in the book where she's like, I am not a feminist. I don't even know what she said, to be honest. I think I just erased that on my mind. But she was just like, I'm not a feminist because I want something. What did she say, though? I think she wanted more of, I don't know. I'd rather not say it because I could say just shit. And yeah, but I did see that internalized misogyny throughout some places of the story. And this also goes to explain you that this doesn't follow. It's not even a present and past it kind of is a present and past timeline. I don't know how to explain things in English. I'm sorry. And I read this book in English. Girl, I'm insane. There's past and present timelines, but the past, it's not linear. It's not a linear past. It's like, it's a past that it's very recent, and in the next time we're reading about the past, it could be an older past. Does that make sense? Maybe not. I hope it does to you. I hope it does. But yeah, so they go to hell, they meet a lot of people, and that's how you think a quest to hell would be. Like, you go to hell, and then you meet this, and you meet that, and you get the help from this, and you have to fight that. It's exactly what happens here. I don't want to go too much into it, because I think the experience means a lot while reading this book. Like, you have to feel it in the moment. That is it. Also, the mention of Wittgenstein and then mentioning Crime and Punishment somewhere around, like, towards the end of the book. Girl, every time I think of Wittgenstein, I think about Dostoevsky, because my teacher, when we were studying Wittgenstein, he showed us the movie Wittgenstein. It's the same name. And I remember vividly the actor Wittgenstein saying something about Dostoevsky. And I was like, girl, okay, you go, girl. I don't know, I just have this correlation in my head. Wittgenstein, Dostoevsky, always together in my head. I am sorry. But what else? So I don't know, I lose track of thought, and I make no sense while talking. That's why I write things down. Not today, though. Not today. So let's go through my favorite part of the book. And I'm gonna read you quotes from that part of the book, so if you don't want to see that, please don't see that. So can I say this? Maybe I don't, maybe I'm not gonna say it, but when we are in a very important part of the story, let's say before the big turning point of the story, we get the past of Peter. Like, we have Alice, she's our main girl. We know some things about her past, not everything though, but some things that are defining of her character. And then, like this, we get to know Peter's past. And Peter's past, it's very present in Alice's story, because she kind of liked him in the beginning when they met, when they started. I don't even know what they were doing. Oh, they were helping Professor Grimes on a project, and it was both of them together. So they spent a lot of time in the lab together, and they kind of started, I'd like to say, falling in love, but okay. And even in the beginning, the first time she met Peter, she said, oh, maybe we could go for a drink sometime, and he never got there. And I thought he was just an asshole. But turns out it was just exactly like me, chronically ill. Girl, let me tell you, I didn't know this. I had absolutely zero idea this was going to be a theme in the book. And then R.F. Kuang just hit me with calling. He has Crohn's disease since he was 6 years old. So he studied at home, whatever. And he calls his illness, just one, the beast. And girl, I don't know, when I first started getting sick, I called my illnesses the pain, because I didn't know what to call it. It's just pain. I don't know what you are. And first of all, that's so relatable, of giving it a name just so you could call it something. That is insane. But yeah, Peter has Crohn's disease, like, very bad. And I love how he says, like, I don't have Crohn's disease, by the way. I have 3 other chronic illnesses that have not much to do with Crohn's, but, like, it's also in my tummy. I have endometriosis, adenomyosis, I have PCOS as well, but, like, that is okay, everybody. Now, can't handle a bit of PCOS. I also have asthma and all that, but like that's okay. But I think I related so much to Peter because I've been in that position, and I need to read it to you. Like, there was a certain scene where, okay, yeah, I think it's chapter 22. I am just searching. Yeah. In the beginning of that chapter says, Peter Murdoch never meant to hurt anyone. That's really, really, really sad. Yeah. Sorry, guys. This is so emotional to me. I cried during these things. And, okay, I need to tell you this. When he was a kid, this is my favorite theme of the book. You can tell I am obsessed with it. I think she did a really great job depicting chronic illness. At least in my experience, like, that's exactly how I feel. Thank you, Arif Kwang. That's exactly how I feel. But when Peter was little, he didn't go to school. He was homeschooled. And one day when he was having a birthday party, they invited people from the school he was supposed to go. And one of the girls, apparently like the most beautiful girl, called him an invalid. And girl, if I was 80 years old and someone was calling me that, I would also be insane in the head. I would become insane in the head. So, yeah. Oh, but I need to read you the quotes because she depicted it perfectly. One of them is, growing up with a chronic illness just meant choosing between bad and worse. And Peter had determined that day that no matter what else happened, he was never again to be the object of pity. And I feel it so much because Peter is someone who never told anyone that he was sick. Anyone like at Cambridge and everything. Yeah, he actually had to tell. He had to tell Professor Grimes at some point, but everybody else, nobody knew. And I think it hurt even more knowing that nobody knew. And he was suffering so much in silence. Because everybody knows I'm sick. To me, girl, you gonna make me and I'm gonna tell you, I have a chronic illness. I might faint the next minute, okay? That could happen. I fainted for I think the first video on my channel is me talking about the time when I fainted for 8 hours and didn't wake up and I had to go to the hospital. That was very fun. That was so fun. Oh, and Peter's chapter also has a lot of, let's say, love quotes for Alice. Like talking about her laughter and everything. Oh, girl. Also, now that I remember this, have you ever watched the movie Queer? If you haven't, you gotta do that. But there's a line here. I'm gonna read it to you. That his particular illness rather never let him forget how embodied he was. And in the movie Queer, all they want to do is be disembodied. And you know, there's also a talk here about meditation, getting out of your body, and we can't. That's our body's all we can think about because it's constantly aching, okay? That is all. So, I don't know, I remembered William S. Burroughs for no reason at all. It was the environment. My favorite page, as 2 post-its, as dog here, is everything. I'm gonna read this phrase to you and tell you how much I cried. So, he hated this meat sack he'd been trapped in. Hated every tissue and organ that sapped his attention and energy when all he wanted to do was sit and think. I read this and I never felt myself so seen ever in a book. Like, this is me. And people don't get it. People be like, oh, but you're at home. You're sick, but you're at home. You can do everything. No, I cannot watch a movie if I'm having like a deep flare. I cannot watch a movie and be concentrated on it. I cannot read a book and concentrate myself on it because you can. You simply can. Okay? You cannot. That's And I'm seeing here. This book was perfect. I cried so much at this line. I had to stop and be like, let me breathe. And then another one that I've lived. I've lived this scene in my life so much. But before that, he also said, he didn't say it, but you know, the narrator, the universe wasn't fair, so we would bait the universe. And I'm like, yes, we are. But then the scene that I've lived through my whole life, it could never forget that final night, lying on the bedroom floor, crying pitifully from the pain, stomach spasming, my bad, every few minutes, like it was trying itself into ever smaller knots. I've lived this. And then I've also lived this. Always he would remember praying, something he had not done for years, kneeling on his hands and knees on the bile-splattered bathroom tiles, uttering half-remembered lines from Mass. Have mercy on me, O Lord, Christ, Elysian. He did not die, it says the next. I don't know, guys. I don't think a book this year will ever surpass whatever this is. So yeah. Then he got betrayed. Then he got surgery. Yeah. This is my favorite theme of the whole thing. So this is my chapter 22, my favorite chapter. And after that, I don't even know what to say. Oh, but there's something I want to say. This was such a great idea, going into Dante's Inferno, like getting inspo from Dante's Inferno to create this quest. It was fire. Woman, you did good. Love you. But I think the main critique that I think was the critique that I liked the most from the book was, I don't know if I got aware of this while they were in this is like one of the layers, okay? When they were in this, I kind of got this, but you guys can also tell me in the comments if you felt this way. I felt like the critique that was put upon us was, we have so much information, we have so much knowledge on our hands, and we don't even take that, you know? Like, we have access to so many things, and we don't go into it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but it's as if we just want to be dumb, you know? And we live in a world where we don't have time to access that knowledge, but when we do, what do we choose to do, you know? Do we choose to read? Do we choose to game? Do we choose to watch a movie? Do we choose to do nothing? Do we choose to do something stupid? You know what I mean? I think there was also like this big critique of, we have so much knowledge everywhere and we don't even acknowledge it, you know? Well, that was it. Okay, let's talk a bit about the romance. I think the romance was put into the right places at the right time. I was wowed. Mainly, I'm not a very big fantasy reader. Like, I read fantasy, but they're more like romance based. And in this book, I never wanted the romance to be the main plot ever, even though it was what drove them. Like, their drive was based on love, and we have so many quotes about love. I'll get into some, but I like that love was what drove them. But what I wanted to know as a reader was like this quest and adventure they were going into and what it meant to them. But being driven by love was beautiful, and I think the first quote I underlined was about love, wasn't it? Let's see. No, it wasn't. Where is it? No, there's a quote here that it's literally life-changing. Girl, I stopped on my tracks. And I had to... Wow. No, it's not here. Where is it? No. Okay, I think it's here. Is it? Yeah. No. No. Oh, it's here. Found it. No. No, I didn't. I didn't found. Okay, found it. Okay, found it. Okay. Okay, I have to read a few previous quotes for you to get it. One of them is, and in these hours, Alice experienced for the first time what she thought it might be like to fall in love. Now another paragraph, and it says, this gradual unfolding of another soul, charting one's course into privileged inner territory, making discoveries of which you felt you were the first. Period. And then the quote that I actually had to close the book down and think was like, and if falling in love was discovery, was letting yourself be discovered the equivalent of being loved? No. Sorry, I read it wrong. It's the equivalent to being loved. Still, my girl, RF Kwang, you know what you were doing. What do we have here? Oh, this one is also something I think about all the time. And it was, she was safe. There was at least a single other soul in this universe who vibrated at her same frequency. Girl, I'm always talking about vibrating at the same frequency, so I'm always thinking about that thing. Yes. What else? We have more quotes. No, but I still believe on that critique of the knowledge that we don't get, because she says a lot about think. Like, I need time to sit down and just think. I need time to be in an healthy body that lets me think. Think, guys. Let's think. I don't know if I have any more quotes I want to read. Let's see. No, I just find it really, like, some scenes are just so cute. When he was holding her hand and, like, oh, that was very cute. Okay, this is the chronic illness moment that we already got through. Let's see if I have something else. I love these parts of the book. Like, I think they're very creative, and they just come at the right moments. Oh, this one also could make you a bit curious. Look, a heart didn't just break. A heart yanked out the rest of you. I'm just reading quotes out of context now, okay? I hope you like that, because that's what we're doing. Okay, which one do we have here? Aye. Oh, when they are at the bazaar, I think it's bazaar, I don't remember. Yeah, it's bazaar. They have also a critique of the internet. That's what I meant. Okay. You know how the institutions that you study at, the internet, everybody is always like, 10 ways to write a better essay. 10 words you could use to do this. The internet is full of that. Your teachers are full of that. But what really matters is that you sit down and write. Okay? Because in this part of L, they have to write essays to pass to somewhere else. So most people don't even start writing because they're just so into learning. Like, you don't have to be perfect to write. That's what I took from here, from this part of the book. And there's this quote, and I literally wrote down, is this about the internet? And it's like, there's a million things to keep oh my god, there's a million things to keep a soul from writing, all in the service of making you better at it. They're all saying, oh, you're gonna be better if you do this. Baby, just do it, okay? So that's why I wrote, is this about the internet? And then there are a few how do you say that? There's a few like posters with saying things, and then I wrote down on what those posters were saying. I wrote down, this is definitely about the internet. So okay. Not even the internet, but like these people who are particularly think of themselves particularly better than you, and why did they do that, you know? Another one quote, life made that beautiful and kept the circle going. So yeah, I think the ending was very good, by the way. Oh, there's also a great talk about memory, about remembering. Do you need to remember absolutely every single step of the way, or is the feeling enough, you know? Well, that's something I don't want to get into, because memories is something that kills me a bit. Oh, and we have final quotes. We have, no, here we don't have anything. But we have, probably, outside of the chronicleness quotes, my favorite quote of the book was, maybe parallel lines could meet at infinity. And girl, I'll never be the same. I also, just my final thoughts, I promise you this is rambling, but I think R.F. Kuang just put the right thinkers into the right moments, and she reflected so well upon them. I am just so happy I got to read this book. I'm happy I was born in an age where Katabasis exists. So thank you, R.F. Kuang. Thank you so much. This is such a great book to, I don't know, I have a very fond feeling with this book, because I studied these thinkers she kind of puts in here. I'm a film student, and I've had, not anymore, I had this subject in university that was called contemporary thinking, and we would also mention these authors, thinkers, and it's so beautiful to see that those how do I explain this? It's beautiful to see that the people, the thinkers that I saw as school subjects, that I don't know, school is a place that makes me a lot nervous. I don't know, and studying for the tests and exams and everything makes me all nervous and everything. So seeing those thinkers that I had to study a lot and like really deep dive into their subjects, let's say, seeing them so coolly, like it's in such a cool way reflected in this book, I just loved it. And maybe that made no sense because English is not my first language, and maybe I'm just saying a ramble of words together. But yeah, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's going to be one of the favorites of the year, so let's see how it ages. But I feel my heart so full right now. So thank you, R.F. Kuang. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, I think that is it. I have a film to make now. Yeah, you can go follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see some of the behind the scenes of that movie. I am producing it, but I'm also going to get there and help as much as I can during the recording of it. So you can go follow me to see that. Yeah, guys, I love you so much. I'll probably see you next week. Bye bye.